I'll probably stick with yellow as my main. Wait. I'm not the yellow main. I shouldn't say that. I just prioritize buying the yellow stuff. That's the more accurate term. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Refresh Step, where you recover yourself for the main step. I'm your host for today, tomorrow, and the foreseeable future, Theodore Lu. And yeah, today is another one of Ayumu's holiday. So of course it's the nearing to the New Year's holiday. So before the New Year strikes, since if everything went smoothly, then they should be up before the New Year. But anyway, Merry Christmas, guys. Hope that you guys have a nice chilly Christmas, because it is indeed a very chilly Christmas here in Germany. It has, according to my in-law, for the last 15 years, it was the coldest Christmas, like temperature-wise. Oh yeah, I went to church at the dead of night at 10 p.m. and yeah, it was not fun going outside of the car. Yeah, but it is what it is. The inside of the church was pretty warm, so that kind of works out in the end. Yeah, being outside wasn't really fun though. Now, can't really film anything with my hands now because my hand is absolutely trashed from all the dry weather and all the cold. It is pretty hideous. I should be using maybe more lotion. It actually hurts a lot when I kind of like make a knuckle, which can be a problem because I do still have to take care of myself, and making a knuckle is more than just like punching stuff, and it's more into like how I am going to, for example, like hold my pants when I cook stuff. It is the New Year. It is nearing the New Year, so kind of like end of year time to reflect a lot on what we have done so far. Maybe a little bit of like expectation for the New Year. Yeah, I mean, this year to reflect on stuff. Mostly I do think like I do not play enough Battle Spirits this year, so that's something that I wanted to definitely improve in the next year, because I think like, yeah, just to know more about like what I am actually talking about, I probably should reconnect myself to the game. And of course, like there's a lot of stuff happening recently. Big 3 finally got into the Asia final. Farhan, of course, is defending his title, going to the Asia final again. We do see lots of new faces in the top table for the Asia, like the Indonesian final as well, which is pretty encouraging, I think. Because like, yeah, of course, like we want the stronger players to kind of like be able to keep performing well, but also for the new faces to spring up and challenge this guy so that they won't be too comfortable with their position right now. Yeah, so here is, unfortunately, Wilson didn't make it to Asia final. We have to, hopefully next year he can live up to his title as the Singaporean champion. That's kind of the joke, because like one time he actually won the Malaysian championship, but I think it's around COVID, so they don't have like a physical Asia final. They do like an Asia exhibition match, which is done remotely, and they did kind of like an introduction video for all like the players, and Wilson was for some reason introduced as the Singaporean champion instead of like the Malaysian champion that he is. Oh, yeah, if you haven't known that, now you know. So yeah, this is going to be just another 30 minutes of me kind of like ranting, waiting for my laundry to be finished and go back to work. Probably after that, just make a nice steak for myself and enjoy the rest of the night. Also, I have to start working again on the Indonesia final videos. It is a lot, especially now that Tora is not having his PC. It exploded during the. It is a story that I like to repeat over and over again, but like it is his sacrifice during the Wave 2 qualifier that his PC exploded in the end. So hopefully he can get a new computer soon. It is kind of tough to edit a lot. It's just I did the moral support of like another guy working with me as well. But yeah, it is what it is. It is, like my target is to kind of like get it out on the first or second week of 2026. Of course, it is way, way, way too late, but December is really busy, so that is my excuse. That is not acceptable excuse, but that is what I have to live with. That is what basically what I have to face. That sometimes it's just hard to wake up in the winter, and I just have to force myself a little bit for a lot of things. Oh yeah, reminder to myself to force myself a little bit more. But yeah, anyway, less of like since we only have like 30 minutes before you guys go back to your family. Hopefully this will be like long enough for you guys to kind of like accompany you guys in your commute, so that it is not too lonely when you walk outside and it's cold. And yeah, maybe if you guys are from Southeast Asia or like Australia, it's going to be like a hot day as usual. But you know what? It is cold in Europe, so I want to complain while I still live in Europe. But anyway, one of the biggest thing that I'll be looking forward to unexpectedly in January next month is the new Diva booster, which is a reprint booster pretty much similar to PSC 37, which is the premium Diva collection. So there's another premium Diva collection, quote unquote. This is titled the Memorial Record. I missed the read there in the beginning for some reason. So like I always thought the set name was Memorial Code, which kind of works as a set name, but also like it is a vastly different title than what is intended for the set. Although I did not read the fine print enough. Like we only have like 5 to 6 like new cards, and they were refilled pretty much instantly. We have Redison, the Fonina, the Blackster. Like we only have like 3 to 4 left. And the reprint so far wasn't really encouraging. Most of the comments are like kind of like questionable. But I guess like they did already like reprint like the good comments like in the previous reprint set. So yeah, I guess they kind of have to reprint something else. That's probably why. Maybe we will then get another Christmas Party Reoba. But instead we do get the Diva Academy Reoba, which is previously a magazine promo. So I think that is a pretty nice reprint. And I was originally like meaning this episode to kind of like just review like cards that I wanted to be in the set. Because like I kind of skip a lot of like the card of the day because like it's just another reprint that I already have, so I don't really pay attention to like what is there. Like I just skim through it, and then like one day turns out I forgot that I failed to notice that one of the reprint was actually Sengoku Fest main stage, which is really old. It's either an uncommon or a rare. I forgot which one. So let's see if I still have it. Okay, I need to load it up. So Battle Spirits, Sengoku Fest. Yeah, Sengoku Fest main stage. So originally it is an uncommon, so that's probably going to be bumped to a rare, which is going to be nice because it's going to be in foil. Or it will be a common, which is going to also be nice because that means just by buying one box, you will get that. There's like 2 to 3 copies. Which I will like it is not like the staple. Like not every deck can really benefit from like having multiple Sengoku Fest main stage. And if you have watched my video previously, like I really tried my hardest to kind of like build my decks around like not having main stage, and especially because I mostly like built Grand Siesta, which doesn't have that much stage style because they rely on a family called Grand Style instead. So like Sengoku Fest main stage doesn't really gel that good with the Grand Siesta. So yeah, so there's that. But like, you know, usually when it comes to like reprints and stuff, for like expensive cards, I often like buy them in like the wrongest of timings. I buy them like when they're kind of high, but like, yeah, these days I kind of like stop caring about like that anymore. I feel like as long as I can get some value out of it, so like as long as I can play a lot with it, I don't really care if like the card like goes down in price, especially because some of them I might have bought them when they were not as expensive, and then they turn out to be expensive afterwards, and then they drop again in price. So like, yeah, I mean like I already get all the value that I can get out of them. So like, yeah, I mean like, yeah, it's still money, it's still lost money, but like, then again, some things in life are just meant to be experiences and not long-term investments. I'm actually just coping because like there are like some stuff like that. Some of my secrets that I told my dad that yeah, this actually costs kind of like something, and then like he was like, yeah, why don't you sell it now? And then like I still like it, and then like it dropped into the ocean. So yeah, maybe I should have listened to my dad a little bit more to some extent. But yeah, it is what it is. We can't really go back to the past, can we? Yeah, the other, so but like I don't well, like when I bring that up, it's mostly because other cards that I kind of wanted to be reprinted is probably Producer Alex. It is a card that kind of can gain value because it is not reprinted at all, even though they have been keeping on like printing new Grand Siesta stuff. They never reprinted Producer Alex. It is kind of like the win button. It's kind of like the true quote-unquote finisher of like the deck, because like that is, you can kind of like build a deck around something else, kind of like focus it on Cyclermetum, focusing more onto the control aspect, or you can just go into like the more of like the spam build. You don't really have to build it around a certain finisher. You just bring Alex out, and then like now you have all the tools that you needed to kind of like finish the game, because like Alex just give everyone unblockable, and all other Grand Style can return to hand when they are removed. Yeah, then you can just, and also you can summon something that is like small enough, so you can just when the bigger spirits are removed, then you can just resummon like the spirits with show up for example, so then you can resummon like the bigger spirits, which is nice to have, which is always nice to have. Like that single card like does everything for the deck pretty much. And on top of that, like you have like strong finishers like like the Sun Queen Cyclermetum with her double symbol, and also her removal kind of like sends scores to the trash as well. You have like Sandy Leonora, which can refresh herself every time she finishes attacking, so that's why the unblockable mattered a lot. Yeah, so hopefully, and yeah, of course, like when I do like the introduction, it is kind of like it feels kind of bad that okay, like yeah, this deck is really good if you have this one single card that you only wanted to use in this deck, and it costs like $40 pop. So like yeah, so You can only use this card in this deck, by the way. It's not meta. It's just a collection deck. You can use it in like in an alternative format that only a hand, like relatively speaking, like less people like plays exclusively on the Diva format, like I do. Like yeah, so this is going to be a really hard ask, but like hopefully if they do reprint it as a, well, probably as a master rare, then yeah, it will be really easy to get them. Because like I don't know why, but like sometimes master rare is a little bit harder to get. It's a little bit easier because they're both are usually like smaller than the rares. And all the others producers, as far as I remember, are like master rares anyway. Yeah, hopefully she can get reprinted somehow. Or maybe as an extra that I also don't mind. I mean, like, that's everything for the deck, so I guess it kind of deserves that spot. And that could also mean she can get the secret version, which she also deserves. And yeah, the other ones is probably the Obsidian Soldier Makoichi, which is again not the most, how do I put this, like essential. Because a lot of Diva decks can kind of like survive on like summoning like their smaller versions, and from their smaller versions you go up into their bigger versions, basically. Like yeah, some decks can benefit from like having easier spams. Most decks can benefit from like having an extra draw, but not all decks can really benefit from like paying an extra to every turn, especially in yellow, where like resource to play your cards, the cores are really scarce. It can be pretty tight until you can pull off like the quote-unquote infinite combo, and then maybe you can play Yu-Gi-Oh with it. Like Fonina is probably one of the deck that can afford like a lot of cores, but like on the other hand, it is also one of the decks that can survive without Magoichi. But I feel like Magoichi is already prevalent enough that I guess like if reprinting them as an extra would kind of make sense. And yeah, the other one is like the Elusive Sakura Mystery, which is just a rare. I only collected 3 at that time. Now, kind of want that. That is like more of a want than like kind of like a need. I guess like it's kind of just like, I feel like it has been reprinted once for the Ryoba premium set. And yeah, I guess like if we got reprinted again, it will be more of like a convenience for me, because yeah, it's I have like 2 decks that needed it right now. I don't want to move it, but when like the 2 decks like too often, it yeah, just to not damage the sleeves. So hopefully we can get a more sleeves based on the Divas as well next year. It's kind of a shame that during the last Monday Card Fest they didn't do the Grand Walker sleeves anymore. I wanted to get a second series of that. Because yeah, I mean like, especially since I really like Bridget, I probably have uncomfortably said a lot of times that I really like the Grand Walker Brigade. Didn't really gel with the rest of her deck. That's why I'm really reluctant on like building her deck. But like I really like Brigade, so like I kind of wanted to be able to incorporate Brigade into my gameplay somehow without actually building her deck. Also Morrigan, there's Parvati, there's, yeah, I guess arguably next is not what I want, but like not I want, but like I guess like people might want that. Of course, like 2 of the yeah, there's should be 1. Yeah, 2 of them are already yellow. Well, just like with the previous one, I think like we do have. Oh no, the previous one we have 2 whites. And then who else? Who else did I miss? Who else did I miss in like the second, like the last year, like the Grand Walkers? Fremia will also be nice. Yeah, Fremia is a new addition, and it will also be nice to see her sleeves as well. Yeah. Hopefully they do the second wave of the Grand Walker sleeves next year. Fingers crossed. Because of course we will have a standard starting next year as well, so that might take up the slots. If I recall correctly, they will make 4 sleeves out of the new cards, but like they only have like 4, and we have like 6 colors to cover. So I don't know how they are going to work that out. But hopefully we will get like the waifus, especially like the new green. I don't know why they put the green in the aquatic theme in green, but we will look into that later because there's something more important before we go there. Because of course, this is Diva said one of the most important thing is the secrets, the alternate arts, and yeah, I thought like I can kind of like maybe look at that later, and then I saw Rabbi Darling getting another secret. It's if I recall correctly, the one they printed in this set is the winter attire Rabbi Darling. Yeah, that's actually like really nice. Not nice for my wall that is because this one is significantly different from like her original version. So, and she's like a generic searcher in Shiny Hearts, and she does have an advantage of like compared to like the other searchers, because if you pick up something with pick up like Producer Lily specifically with her effect, then you get a core as well, which Shiny Hearts is kind of like a proxy theme for the color red, so getting that one extra core always helps. And yeah, I mean, like, what's not to love from having more of your waifu inside your deck? And yeah, maybe if I can, I mean, like, lately the secrets, as they do have like, they will probably make a lot of secrets, so they will do like 34 of these bromides too. So I will need one of the bromides, maybe 4, and hopefully 4 of like the actual card, so I can put 3 inside my deck and 1 in my album. That's important. If I can get the 5th one, maybe I will populate my board. You can't see it right now, but I do have like I do frame some of my playmats. It is the free design playmats that you can get when you fill in the survey on the website. It is just a free design too, so you will need to print them yourself, but they can be pretty neat. I do have like the Diva one from like the last Diva set, so it's just the Diva 10 After Party, which features all the diamond wall of the various divas, which reminds me I still need to get the diamond wall Rabbi Darling and also the diamond wall, that Cyclermetum diamond wall. Lots of things to buy, not much money left. So yeah, next year I have to work harder to afford everything. Yeah, hopefully we can crack some boxes as well for the memorial record. Since I mean, like, if I buy it, like, it's definitely going to be way cheaper. But like, I mean, like, there's not much that I wanted to buy. Like, it is a weird. I mean, like, it's a weird number because like it feels like it doesn't feel like there's much to the point that I kind of wanted to buy everything, but also like it can in the right it is a weird feeling, but it feels like it is just the right amount of like cards that I wanted, that it kind of like feels right to kind of like open boxes. So we'll see. I do have to resort to eating lots of just rice with soy sauce probably. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Because thankfully, so January will be the memorial record. February will be the final, the Gathering of Heroes, the final booster pack for the Contract Saga period. Because after that, at least we still don't know like what said they will start for premium next for Eternal. Sorry, I got it mixed up with Vanguard. Yeah, because like Eternal will get their own booster and Standard will get their own booster. So we still don't know whether the story will continue from the Contract Saga or will they, as usual, like now it's probably already 3 sagas, or like 3 part of the saga, like let's start a new story kind of thing. Although yeah, if they do continue with the Contract Saga, that will still also be nice, because they do still promise like some of the Grand Walkers to be brought back, but they are still not there, namely Isis. I kind of wanted to bring her back to 2026, I mean, but yeah. Also, Ra would be nice, I guess. I just wanted something with Imaginary Peace. That's kind of all. So I can bring back the yellow origin deck. Kind of have an idea in mind. Guess like Ayumu talked something into my head like 2 weeks ago, and now I just let some of my ideas flow. And I mean, like, maybe it's not going to be tournament competitive, but like just for casual games, I suppose they will be pretty fun to tinker with. So we'll see. But anyway, standard. So standard, usually with Pale Spirit's one of like the, how do I put this? It is not really the bad part, but like kind of like the thing that is a little bit kind of like a shame is that when you wanted to start a game, you wanted to buy a starter deck, then you are pretty much limited to like one of the 6 colors, because like they will release maybe only red or only white or only green. Really rarely they try to play with like, for example, yellow. Yellow, I think like mostly it's just the Aikatsu or the Diva starter deck, but like other than that, it's really rare to see like yellow as a starter deck. Mostly it's red and white, or purple and green. Blue is as rare as yellow, I think, because like those 2 colors are a little bit more gimmicky. Of course, like being simple doesn't mean bad. Like usually simple decks are like the one that is that are actually winning after all. So like like complexity doesn't always translate to performance, but it does. And in the end it is like kind of like you just kind of have to find like the complexity that clicks with you. Personally, I find like the yellow's complexity to be somewhat right. Blue is probably a little bit too spicy for me, but yeah, sometimes you kind of just wanted to mail my opponent's decks, but like, yeah, maybe it's sometimes it can be a little bit too spicy sometimes, but yeah. I mean, like, so, but this time they will have like 6 different starter decks, all for 1 each for each color. So of course, red is going to have lots of birds, which is a little bit of a nice callback, because like the first red starter deck ever is also featured the Phoenix. Still have the card actually. I forgot the name of the Phoenix. That Phoenix was also featured in Saga. Of course, it was downgraded, kind of like, because it kind of appears in like set 4 or something, kind of like a normal mid game stuff, if not a vanilla. But like it was supposed to be kind of like a on the position of like the Andromeda in Saga. So kind of like something that destroys that one last blocker before you clear out their lives for real. Purple is probably going to be more Ogre Wizard, so kind of like returning also to their roots of mostly like nondescript demonic beings. White being, well, they do have giant beasts, they do have armored beasts, so that's like the turtle is probably going to be represent one of them. The yellow is going. They started with Indra, adding more dragons into the game, but like now they probably wanted to bring more variety into it, admittedly, because in yellow you do have like lots of family, but it does feel like it is just a different flavor of the other color, because like mainly you do have the divine spirits, which has the angels, and then you have the dark arts, which is at first it is kind of like somewhere in between of like witches, like the people who perform witchcraft, and like the fallen angels. So it is a little bit of just basically just the angel, like the aesthetic is just angels without wings, pretty much. And then you do have imaginary piece, which is the one of the largest family in yellow. It does have lots of like animals. No, and because like it is imaginary, it doesn't really limit itself to everything. One of my favorite imaginary piece, being Mortiana, which formerly was also dark arts spirit. And then what else? You do have the hunter piece, which is also like hunter piece and imaginary piece. Like how do you draw the line between these two? Because like of course you do have like a Parvati kind of like, okay, so like hunter piece mostly birds. Well, not really, because I think like Martiana's support card is also a bird. So like how do you draw the line? There's nothing that really draws the line between like the aesthetics. And then you do have Uranus's exclusive family, which is even more nondescript. It has lots of birds, but where do we draw the line? We never know. Then the more obvious one is probably the snack family. I forgot which. The confectionery. Yeah. So that one is a little bit more divine, because everything that is in that family is pretty much related to, it is pretty much sentient foods. But then there's the Arcana family, which also has the it's the bread butterfly. Let's see. It's the bread butterfly. Battle spirits. Bread butterfly. I didn't make a short on that, but I forgot about what it is exactly. It is an Arcana. It is an Arcana, right? It is an Arcana. So like, where do we stop? Where do we stop having like the butterfly bread not being a confectionery and start being an Arcana? Because also one of my favorite cards ever that brought me my championship title, the Siegfried Mad Hatter, is also an Arcana. Of course, like it has Ancient Dragon, but Ancient Dragon is a red family, so like, yeah, it is still an Arcana mainly as a yellow card. So like, yeah, where do we stop? Where do we start? Where do we stop? And then what else? Like, what are like the other major yellow family? You have you have Fairy and Prism Wing. Fairy and Prism Wing are both fairies. Maybe it's just like one of them follows Aphrodite and the other one follows Morrigan. But like, where do you even draw the line? Because their wings can be pretty similar. And you do have like with the female stuff, you do have like some that are more went more into insects, I guess. And then you have the ghosts, which is represented by both drifting spirits and yokai. Oh god. Like, I guess like yokai is just drifting spirits but Japanese. This just represents how Japan like define things. That's just drifting spirit but Japanese. Everything that is not Japanese, they go to drifting spirits, I guess. And then of course in the topic of birds, you do have the lyric birds. So yeah, lyric birds and hunter bees. Again, they are both birds. And the pantheons are usually like both lyric birds and drifting spirits, so that's even more confusing. And then now we have the Thunder Rush, which supposedly, mostly they are dragons. So that's probably what is going to go into this entry deck. We will see. And then there's the last two colors, which is a little bit more confusing because you would think that they are being switched at birth right now. Because like usually when you think of elements in Battle Spirits, fire goes to red, ice go to white, darkness goes to purple, and light goes to yellow. Forest usually goes to green, and ocean goes, water goes to blue. So I thought like, I see a giant octopus and my first thought is it's going to be the blue one. But of course, if you play Battle Spirits long enough, you will notice that they always have a fixed order in which they present the card like this, like the categories of cards by color, which is in Saga, it's a little bit different because of how they are released in the set. But in Battle Spirits, it's going to be always red, purple, green, white, yellow, and then blue. In Saga, it's going to be red, purple, white, yellow, green, and then blue. So yeah. There's two ways to kind of like create this 6 blocks, which is left to right, left to right, left to right. Or you can go from left to the bottom and then right to the bottom. Like in both configurations, doesn't make sense why is the octopus is in that position, because that should be either green if you read it from top to bottom, or if you do it like left to right, it should be yellow in that position. So why is that octopus there? Because it's green. For some reason, all the aquatic stuff in this set, in this entry deck and the set of the first set is going to be green. And then, of course, you have the blue one. Sure, dinosaurs. I guess like they do live in the forest, so I guess that still kind of checks out. Don't know why. Blue admittedly probably has like one of the least variation family. Mostly like the major ones are either fighting spirits, beast head, roaring azure is also a pretty minor family. Like oh yeah, artificial little deer. I think like these three are like the most prevalent ones. And of course, like we have lots of others, but like they have been, so they have developed it in such a way that even with a low number of family, they can still be pretty unique compared to each other, which is also pretty nice, I guess, because like you can kind of like mix and match between the stuff way easier because they share the same family, but also like, yeah, so like where do the dinosaurs came from? Dinosaurs mostly, as we know in Battle Spirits, belong to the Terra Dragon family or the Pterosaur in Battle Spirit Saga, which are red mostly. I guess if they wanted to just justify it being beasts, then they can find a way, because of course we have fusion beasts. Oh yeah, that I forgot about fusion beasts. Yeah, fusion beasts is one of like the largest family in blue, pretty much. Yeah, so that's the surprise of the standard. And of course that we have all the 6 starter decks. We have the booster pack that will come 1 week after, which will make ordering this stuffs a little bit awkward. Hopefully I can get most of them. I think like they are pretty much self-explanatory. The red is going to be another dragon. Hopefully they don't make a new family this time. I think that kind of fits well in Ancient Dragon. So hopefully they will just do that. The purple is probably going to be Nightling, more waifu stuff. And the green mermaid, I kind of thought that they would kind of like, because like the saga, right, has like the family merfolk, which they already had developed in blue, and they do have like some unique stuff that they do make for saga. So kind of thought that they will just make the blue family merfolk, so that they just can reuse stuff from saga, which also would be nice personally, because I do play saga. So like I did play Saga and I wasn't able to interact a lot of it blue, unfortunately. Because I mainly play yellow and I have to prioritize my purchases. That's what it was. And I wish that they would continue Merfolk and blue in standard. But again, for some reason, they decided to just develop the aquatic team deck in green instead. And then white Machine Beast, one of the family that we know and love. One of my favorite one of my most favorite art in the game. Fanatec Elk is also belonging to that family. So glad to see even more Machine Beast coming along. I feel like one of the strong suit of like the Japanese games is how they don't whenever they wanted to make something cool, they were able to capitalize on like other stuff that is not dragons pretty much. Although some of like the games, like even Bell Spirit, sometimes they just like how do we make it stronger? Just give it some draconic features. Because why the fuck not? Yeah, and I really like Battle Spirits, like because of Machine Beast, they can bring a lot of like yak, even ox, and make them cool basically. And of course tears, lots and lots of tears, even more tears. So yeah. Chika Noko Noko Hoshitanan meme might have died, but it will live on in my heart. And of course, the more Thunder Dragons in yellow because we haven't had enough. They kind of probably wanted to start ripping away the image that yellow is just filled with mascots, pretty much, because I guess that's what they have been trying to sell yellow with, pretty much mascots, and it's made it a little bit awkward to kind of like promote anything cooler. So I guess since now they kind of was able to move from there, I guess they kind of just want to roll with it. And then blue. Now this is, now the more I look at it, it feels like the blue and the green, it's like totally switched with each other, because not only like you basically are selling me right now the green ocean and the blue forest. Which admittedly, blue forest is an actual blue card in Battle Spirits. Now my excuses are all gone. Also, like insects are usually also green thing, a green thing. I don't know why they searched it this hard. Kinda really hope that they just did an error with this and they were supposed to be switch with each other, but with the coming days, with the card of the days becoming more and more certain that the green is going to be aquatic team and the blue will be forest team, which is a little bit confusing, but I guess it's what it is. So am I going to probably start playing green now? Who knows? We'll need to see more of the cards. But yeah, so far, of course, I already have like the resources for yellow. So, like, I'll probably stick with yellow as my main. Wait. I'm not a yellow main. I shouldn't say that. I will probably prioritize getting yellow. Yeah, that's the more accurate term. I don't main yellow. I just prioritize buying the yellow stuff. My second priority will usually be white, if I can afford that. The purple, like the extra in the booster pack looks pretty tempting, but usually I don't gel well with purple. I gel with purple the least. I don't know why. It feels like whenever I try to play purple with the image that I have from watching other people play them against me, it never works out. But like, for some reason, like it only gel well. It feels like the deck feels like really heavy for some reason. Although it was supposed to be like one of the most lightweight color in in the game. So yeah, I just don't gel well with purple, so I'm probably not going to go up my list. Red is probably going to be in the bottom as usual. Yeah, I don't know why. Red is also another deck that whenever people use it against me, they are fucking deadly. Like, people just blast my nexuses like left and right. My spirits never stays on the field. Whenever I attack them, they always heal to 5 lives. Like, I can't with red. Whenever I use it, it's always like I drew all the heavy stuff, or I drew all the light stuff, and I never drew the big stuff when I need it to. And then when I actually threw the big stuff, I did not read well enough, and then turns out it wasn't as strong as I read it. I had it in my head. Namely because I kept trying to revive my Machine Dragon deck because I really like the aesthetic of Astra Dragon. But yeah, I forgot that Astra Dragon was created like I think I almost like 3-4 years ago. So like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it does need some help. That's for sure. Machine Dragon Grand Walker when. Like, yeah, now the thing is with white, purple, and blue. Because like, usually, I do have like lots of white cards because usually white does have lots of stuff that can help you to defend yourself. So it's never really a bad color to collect like on your second priority. Because like you never know when you will have like commons that will just disappear, and then like now there's an awkward like 3 months before, but when you needing it and it being reprinted and you no longer need it because like your color got some other kit that you actually need. Blue and green is always kind of like, yeah, I don't really particularly like don't gel well with them, but also like I don't really have that much connection to them kind of thing. Blue is probably going to be mostly depending on like what they do. So probably just because I already have something I want in green, probably it's going to be my third priority, and it's probably green. Just because I already have something that I want in it. Although, yeah, we'll see. So probably my priority will always be yellow, white, and then either green or blue. And then the last one is like red and purple, pretty much. So nothing changes. Glad to see that even after the format changes, I am just the same old me. So yeah, I guess that's about it. I have to collect my laundry before they become soggy. Or, yeah. I might regret that because going to be a long holiday after this. Going to have to work a lot, so yeah. If I don't do my laundry now, it's probably going to be bad. So yeah. I hope that has been nice. I thought it was going to be 30 minutes, but yeah, I hope that will be nice 40 minutes. That have been accompanying your journey to where your relatives are. Yeah, if you see like what they're already putting out for like standard and in the booster packs and the starter decks, and you already have like something in mind of which one you want to build, just let us know in the comments. Maybe we can talk more about it. And yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, do feel free to send it to us at therefreshsteppodcast@gmail.com. Or if you are listening this on YouTube, since I haven't been uploading to Spotify in like forever, yeah, just comment down below. Me and Ayumu are always happy to read your comments and hopefully discuss it a little bit further of like discuss things a little bit further for you guys as well. So yeah, I guess that has been everything that I can share for this week and this year as well. Thank you for sticking out with the Refresh Step in 2025. 2026 we'll be back with Ayumu, hopefully, if our schedule actually works as we intended. But yeah, I guess that has been, yeah, since we will be meeting after the new year, so that will be an early wishing you guys a nice new year, a nice passing to the new year. And yeah, just another happy holidays to you guys. So yeah, so that has been everything that I can share for this week. We hope that you guys have a nice week going forward, and we'll see you all in the next turn. Bye bye!